So it rode really well, guys, really well. It took maybe 30 seconds to warm up, but once warm it rides beautifully. What do you mean? It's got what? It's got that weird double brake system. So the rear brake presses.
The rear brake basically.
Oh no, hang on. No, it's not using a double brake system.
It takes forever to slam it.
It's been sitting a while, mate. The brake pads will need kind of bedding in again. It needs using. Yeah, go on. I'd be curious if it was still running a touch lean. I mean, I don't say that for any reason. It just has that tiny kind of feeling of being a touch lean. What I might do is I'll wait a few minutes and then I'll pop the spark plug and we'll see what colour we're looking at. I mean, that was kind of enough of a run through all the rev range to show us how we're burning at this stage. But other than that, you know, Rabjab's right, the brake blocks are a bit low, but it does need running, you know, it needs using, Rabjab. And it's only an £850 bike. Switch it off, mate. I think that, for me, that's done. Well, I mean, it took a little while to warm up.
Yeah. Everything's okay, just a fan brake. It needs a bit.
Should we pop them off and have a look?
Very weak, Charlie.
Oh,
slamming it don't wanna...
I mean, I felt a lot of brakes, and it didn't feel too far out of normal for me. You are used to a brand new KTM Brembo system, I assume. But for peace of mind, for peace of mind, we'll pop the pads off. We'll give it all a clean, and yeah, all right. Tuned it as best as I could. Yeah, I mean it's tuned quite well. I would expect it to have warmed up a bit quicker, but with the cone on, it's just kind of like that. I mean, at the moment in my head I'm really balancing an airbox but the cone feel is definitely quicker now. You can feel it, it's quicker, it's fully revving, it's redlining, so I'm not sure. Couple of things come up from that. One is that the bolt back here on the pivot that we had to make needs some thread lock, which I've put on it now. Because it must be spinning in there. So that's fine. I don't know how long thread lock takes to seal, but it will be alright. I'll leave it for half an hour. And actually we still have a slight oil drip here. Now it's not coming from back here, we can see that, look. So we have sealed one, and then I slightly wonder about the head, because I don't think there was a gasket on it, but it is here, running down here. So what I need to do is clean it off kind of fully and see what's going on. I mean, I did torque this engine to spec in the end, or at least to what spec I could find, which was the equivalent engine, the CG. So it shouldn't necessarily be coming out from there, but obviously it's coming from somewhere. So I'm going to clean it and we'll run it again. It's more likely to be coming out of here, out of this casing. So I'm going to clean it and we're going to have a little look. We're going to see if we can spot the leak this time. So I'm aware, you know, this isn't great, you're not posed that well to see the leak, but we were seeing it come down here. Now we're looking for the source. If we can find the source, then we know kind of what we're looking at. These might need tweaking, for example, etc., or any of the bolts up here. So let's run it, let's have a very, very close look. I'm here next to you, and we'll see what we can find. I mean, guys, this is live time. I can't see any obvious sign. What I was wondering was, it was so caked in dirt, was it just kind of heating up and coming off from the original issues? Because normally you'd start seeing bubbling or some sign of the leak. I mean, easily after 3 minutes on a heated engine, and I can't see any. I wondered if it was the caps. I can't see any at all. Let me switch it off. Sometimes they can become a bit more prominent once the engine's switched off, when it's all kind of settling. But at the moment, I can't see any huge issue with that. I do go back a little bit to that whole, this engine was caked, and it could just be kind of burning it all off and loosening it all off. So the more I clean it, the better it could be. I'm looking in between all that. We've got the head gasket at one place, and then we've got the bottom gasket. But I can't see any sign. I'm gonna have to just keep an eye on it over to, for today. I think we just need to be wary of it. Bikes have slight oil leaks sometimes. It's not always a massive issue, but if it was ever dripping, then we'd look into why. I could see a touch. Is that by hack? Oh, well, that's not going to help, is it? That's not the issue, because it was coming from lower down, but there is an oil channel in there on this hot engine, so I'll get that nipped up. I'm keeping an eye. This is where we were seeing the main flow, and last week we thought it was coming from here. There was definitely a drip from there. It was clear. That's signed and sealed and delivered. That's good. So we'll keep an eye on there today. But for now, this is okay. We're going to pop off the front brake, just give it a good old clean while we're here for Rabjab's peace of mind, and we're letting the little Loctite kind of dry over here. So I think we've kind of done everything on here apart from the brakes. I'll pop them off. Rabjab's said that. I'm going to put out the lexmoto. I've got the charged battery. I've been calling this Tanya. Bertie Bodgett, who's no longer Bertie Bodgett. Bertie Bodgett is Motorcycle Junkie. Was laughing because I've called it Tanya. I think it's probably designed to look like Tanya, but it's Tana batteries. I weren't overly keen on their response. They would collect the battery off me if I agreed a time, and a day actually, which I've done that before, and when they do that, you waste a day. You waste a day on couriers coming to pick things up. Then they're going to test it, and then they're going to decide from there where they go. I mean, yeah, I think there's an element of that. They have to kind of sort themselves out for peace of mind, but I think to an extent they know me. They only have to look at the history and how many batteries I've bought and how many I've returned. It was one before this, and then these two have both caused me issues. The same one. There's one in the garage as well, up on the wall. As in, they charge fully, but they just don't hold it. There should be kind of dates on here, but let's be honest, they can put any date on they want. I don't know. That's the package. That's interesting. This one hasn't got a date. Normally there's a kind of field date, started date. And normally it has them. So that's interesting. It doesn't. I wonder if it's underneath here. Yeah, at this stage, I've lost kind of 70 quid actually. 35 times 2 is 70 quid with not Tanya, with Tainer batteries. But I think they're going to lose more in how many of you guys are watching and think, well, hang on a minute, they've put up their prices massively by like 80%. Their customer service has gone downhill. Their product has gone downhill. I think they're probably, if they see the channel at all, they should sort out their mistakes. Remember, I bought that really expensive lithium battery for the Honda Calf Racer, the 250 Nighthawk I was building. Them guys weren't messing around. They were like, look, I'm going to send you a brand new one right now. And they were like 180 quid or something ridiculous. So Tainer batteries, not Tanya batteries, hopefully they do the right thing. Let's get this off. We'll just give it a quick spray and clean, and we'll just look it all down so that it can do off its best. Again, I didn't particularly feel it was not overly. It actually feels quite good to me. I think, if anything, Rabjab, it needs running, and you know, the pads need to kind of rebed in. Basically, when things sit, they get all gunk on them. Yeah, they're moving freely, which is good. Yeah, and these pads obviously need first. One side is pressing very well. Yeah, exactly. Right, go opposite. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, two more. Stop. Yeah, two more. One more. Stop. One more. Stop. There you go. What push out is this? Yeah, so oh, look, I doubt it. Oh, 12 maybe. This isn't doesn't go too far back. You got it. That way. Yeah, good. You have to check the fluid. I'll have a little look just in case I've got some of them pads. For my reference, they are EBC FA658. 658. I don't know, you get kind of a different version. Rajab's question was, do I get haters on YouTube? Yes is the answer. There's so many haters out there, but you can't let them affect you, really. People love thinking they're better, they know better. People will argue with you a way of doing something, even though it makes no difference at all doing it another way. You know, they'll say you should push something this way when it makes no difference at all. And then there's just bog standard haters who don't have a clue, but they just, I don't know if it's a jealousy thing. So yeah, I mean, you really expose yourself on, if you're, you know, attempting a channel, you really do expose yourself, sadly. But I block and delete quite quick, you know. I'm not messing around with people who can affect your mental health, really. Once you block, the thing is, Rabjab, when you block and delete them, right, they're still watching. They're actually still enjoying your content, but they're not allowed to comment because it's blocked, literally. And actually, I'd rather them be commenting kind of constructive criticism or polite commenting. If they're part of the channel anyway, they may as well, you know. But, you know, a lot more supporters than haters, which is stunning, you know. That's the reality. Supporters. And I think people like how open we are. I think people really do feel like they could come down and say hello, and they can, you know.